We live?
And we're live. Hello, Princess Belinda. How are you?
Good, thanks. And you, Princess Omar. Or are you queen today?
Both. I want both. Both title is the best.
We'll
Why?
just wear them on top of each other. Awesome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live. We're live today with Stamperia Lab with Belinda Basson. Hello, the amazing teacher of Stamperia. Bienvenidas a todas las familias Stamperia. Ciao a tutti da ovunque siate. Hello, everyone. How are you?
So
Hello.
awesome to see everybody coming in. Hello, Carla, David, my design team.
Hello,
Cool.
David. Hello, David. Hi, how are you? Happy to see you. So today, Belinda, we have a lot of things running on. First of all, today we are live with lap stamp technique. Belinda Basson and me today.
That's us.
Play. That's awesome, by the way. So today we will play with stamp technique, me and Belinda, and a lot of amazing tricks to use our stamps. But also, what is like yesterday that we give a little bit sneak peek of Ellie's Word, the new collection. Today, Belinda, my love, we will show romantic collection horses. So during the live, I will show you this new collection that is amazing, and also some project that will amaze you. So stay with us till the end of the live. So it's amazing. A lot of comments are coming on. Love the crow. Hello Isabel. Buon dia. Buon pomeriggio, Monica. Hello Jill. Good afternoon.
Jill, hello.
Oh my God! Look at Jill. Good afternoon. Pre-orders for the new products have opened in some UK shops. So, what you have to do right now? Stop now and call your shop. You have right now to call your shop and say that. Listen to me, baby. I want the novelties, new items from Stamperia. So do it now to be the first.
Get on that phone or on that email.
Of course. Good morning from Arkansas. Like and share. Oh my God, we're live. My phone reminds me that we are live. We have to share and like the video to win the pizza box also.
The best pizzas ever.
Hola a todos. Fedes. Gloria. Hello, Anna.
Hello. Anna.
Hello, Jill.
Jill again.
Nice to see. So, Belinda, today, what we are going to learn with you, my queen.
So I thought I'm not really going to do a finished project today. I'm going to go back to basics because without those basics, you can't really design anything fantastic. And that sounds a little bit harsh, but so what I want to run through today is a whole lot of ways to use stamps, different ways to use stamps. I've got a whole lot of samples that I have made, and then I'm going to take you through the different techniques. So everything from stamping on clay, tissue paper, foam, just different ways to make items so that you can make even my necklace. So I'm going to show you how to use the shrink, which I know Alda already did. But when she did the So Vagabond live with Antoinette ages ago, and she used alcohol inks and everything, here with these ones, I've used my stencil and my stamps for these little guys. And so I will take this off and I will be showing you how to do that. And yes, so there are lots of different techniques and ways that you can use stamps, and Stamperia stamps are the most amazing rubber stamps, which allows you to do all sorts of amazing techniques, and they hold the ink really, really well. So yeah, that's what I've got planned for you today. And maybe at the end, if there's a few minutes left, because I really only want to do an hour today, I will see if we can take all the bits and pieces that we have created using the different methods and put them on a tag and see if we can make something out of everything. But of course, you don't have to put everything, all the samples on one thing. But I just want to show you how the different techniques built up in different layers can give you an amazing mixed media effect, because I think a lot of people think of stamps as just a card making item, and I mean, you can make cards. I've got all these samples here to show you, and so yes, cards, absolutely. But that's usually like everybody's first thought when people think of rubber stamps. So today is all about exciting ways to use them in completely different ways, like making your own jewelry.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm very excited, and it's perfect for a lab. So we will learn many, many techniques. In meanwhile, I see Olga. Hello, Olga. Hello. And many, many other friends. So, familia Stamperia, compartir el video. Share the video and win a pizza box. Hello, Samantha. Ciao. Julia. Hello, Julia.
Yes, hello, hello.
Johanna. Okay. So, Belinda, I have an idea. First of all, what do you think if I play a nice video that you record is a focus product video? Because I want to remember that we have this collection of videos that are called focus product, that are specific short video to see how to use many ideas how to use the product. So let me play this video. We can start.
Awesome.
There are 2 rubber stamp sets in the Lady Vagabond range. You can make cards with them and combine them with other stamp sets by Stamperia. Here is a pop-up card with many layers to it. Here's a closer version of the supervisor in his hat and goggles. You can of course use them for art journaling. Here they are the focus, and I will give you some close-ups of the ladies in all their outfits, which have been colored with pencil crayon, or you can paper piece them and then add color with pencil crayons. Now this is exciting. You can make jewelry by using the shrink plastic. Look at that size change. It's just so exciting. Here they are on a necklace, and it's quite easy to see the close-ups here of Lady Vagabond and her airship. I hope this inspires you.
Hello, hello.
Oh, the cooking show.
It's a cooking show with stamps. Who knew? I'm always joking when I prepare things that I feel like I'm preparing for one of those, you know, those bake-offs and so on. So if I drag this down and I pull this in, this is what I have got prepared for you guys today. You can see, so I've got paints ready in this one. I've got my samples and stamps and blocks ready in this one. I've got more samples in here. I've got my ink pads ready for you guys. So it's just like preparing for a cooking show. So why have I got half my kitchen on my desk? Well, if you're any normal crafter, half your kitchen lands in your craft room anyway. Well, mine does. And some of it, like this roller, I even bought for my craft room. And this old tin, this is actually a what is that cake that you roll up and you put jam inside? Swiss roll. This is a Swiss roll pan which got discontinued from my kitchen, and I'm going to be using it for the shrinking, and so that's what I use to put my shrink plastic on, and then this is what I will use for the clay. So I thought I would first show you a whole lot of different samples, and I'll start off by showing you what the 2 stamp sets look like. And we will be putting afterwards, Omar has got the list of products that I will be using today. And we have WTKC 189.
Oops, the camera.
WTKCC
The camera.
198.
Maybe someone is calling you. The camera go upside down. But take your time because I want to say hello to our friends. Ciao, Alda. How are you?
Oh dear.
Stefan, hello. Wait, let me. Okay, you can fix. Blanche in the middle is translating in Spanish, so thank you so much. And Linda, like and share. You can win a pizza box on Monday with Giovanni. Okay. Yes, Samantha, she's turned, but now we fix everything. Don't worry. Hello. Buenos días, Pepe. ¿Qué tal? Hello. Ciao, Gianluca. ¿Qué tal? And then we have Olga. Ciao. Yes. Mom code. This is very important. We can wait. But now waiting for Belinda. I want to remember you that today we will see this amazing collection, the romantic collection Horses, that is available now for pre-order. Okay, so I cannot see Belinda here. Okay, but doesn't matter. We will wait patiently for his back here. Okay. Omar, when we will have the pizza class, you promise. It's soon. I promise. Hola, Petty. Hola. I need to now entertain you, waiting for Belinda, but it doesn't matter. I can do it. Just let me fix my hair. Okay. Ciao, Maria. Okay. Ciao. Let me see if in the I can play something for you. Let me see if I have something. I see the Belinda is coming back. I see her. Oh, my studio's here. Hello. Oops. Almost. Alicia, buenos días desde Lima, Perú. Alicia, mira, tu nombre. Ayer enseñamos en estreno la nueva colección de Alicia, To the Looking Glass, el segundo libro de Alicia y el segundo episodio de la colección de scrap de Stamperia dedicada al mundo de Alicia. Y tenemos de todo, papel de arroz, los moldes, los sellos, un mundo increíble. So, go and check the new collection of Alice that is already available for pre-order. So, call your shop and you will have first edition pack. Okay, let me know, Belinda, when I can put you back to life. Can I? Okay, baby, come back. Ta-da! I can go on another hour long.
Somebody phoned me on my cell phone and it kicked me out of the StreamYard, and now StreamYard won't let me go back in. So, oh well. I'm back with my computer. What do you call this thing? Webcam. So it's a slightly different view, and yeah. Stream goes on. In South Africa, we have a saying, "'n boer maak 'n plan." So, ek is 'n boer se vrou. So, I'm a farmer's wife. So, I'm making a plan. Okay. So, I was explaining to you. These are the two different stamp sets that I've got, and the one has the lady, the other one has the airship, and who we have nicknamed this supervisor. And the lady is WTKCC 189, and the airship is WTKCC 190. But of course, we will be giving you all these all these codes and everything afterwards.
So don't stress about trying to do all of that. So Omar showed you that video earlier, and I thought I would just give you a close-up of some of the cards. And something that I do is I pre-stamp. Sometimes when I'm not feeling that creative, I pre-stamp a whole lot of my stamps on different color papers. So, and then I've got this little mini file that I have done here. You can see a pink lady vagabond, purple, yellow, white airships, and so on. So this is how I store them. And then it makes it much easier when you want to work. You've got things already pre-stamped, pre-cut out, and you can build all your different layers. So here I've got the airship. This I put to show you because I actually used this dress, which is one of Stamperia's other lines, and I paper pieced her with this dress with the Lady Vagabond. And so it's quite nice if you mix and match what you have. So you don't just have to use one stamp set with that stamp set. You can have a look at what you've got, because here I've got all sorts of different stamp sets working together. And so this one is also another one where I've actually put the print out of, this is from the pattern paper, and I've mixed it with the stamps. Here's Lady Vagabond in a monochrome setting where I've only used green and yellow. So you can combine them in any way that you want. Just because she's a human doesn't mean she has to have proper skin tones or anything. You know, it's a card. It's decorative. It doesn't have to be, you know, sort of what I call realistic colors. And here's another one of the airship together with the supervisor. And so I like to do things like this where I create a set. And I quite often give these as gifts to people. So I would make a little box and give this as a birthday present or a Christmas present as a whole little set of cards. And so that is from the video that you've just seen. Then also from the video that you've just seen, and I've just taken it off. This is the choker that I made myself. I've just used from the hardware store a book box latch, and I've used some of Stamperia's locks, and then these are old keys that I had in my stash, and some of Stamperia's new, well, they're not that new now, but Stamperia's got these gorgeous metal.
And they sound nice, Belinda. They sound very nice, very clinking.
Yes, it makes a lovely noise as I walk. It's kind of, you know, there's that old children's rhyme, she shall have music wherever she goes, with rings on her fingers and bells on her toes.
There's a comment here from Tabi. They say, hello, Blinda and Omar. I love your project. One kiss from Chile. So you
kisses back, kisses back.
Follow this artist. Go online and check Belinda Basson on Instagram and Facebook. Please follow this amazing artist. Just
yes, I come up like a pink rash on social media. And today we're also going to be using some of Stamperia's white ink to use on the shrink plastic. So I'm going to be showing you that as well. Then I like to work with Stamperia's clay. And I've done this as a sample so that I can paint it today, because when it's wet, it's you won't be able to paint it straight away. And Stamperia has this soft clay that comes in 2 different sizes. It's extra light clay, and believe me, it really is what it says it is. It's incredibly light and doesn't, you know, if you use quite a bit of it on a canvas or something, it doesn't make your project heavy. So that's where we're going to be going with that. And to show you a finished example, here I have this canvas where I used a different stamp set.
Nice.
And it says the beauty of nature is everywhere. And so it's the same concept of the piece of clay that you've stamped into, and then I've used the aqua colors on top, as well as some Tarantica in different colors to bring out the wording.
And Belinda, it's totally hard if you touch it, is
totally hard. It's totally hard. It looks like soft leather, but it's actually clay.
cool. Ooh.
So that's an exciting way to use this. Obviously, if you painted it all brown, it would look more leather-like, but I wanted some shimmer and yeah, different looks on this. So, you know, depending on the project you're doing, you can change the colors accordingly. And then here, I've actually put a piece of clay down onto the canvas and stamped into it so that the bird is dimensional. So that's something we're going to be going through today. And then while talking about the clay, sorry, I've just got to get everything out without causing a craft launch. Here I have used my stamps where I rolled out the clay. And that's why we started off looking like a baking show, because I rolled out the clay really, really thin for these and then stamped into them and cut them out. I did the same with the airship. The airship, unfortunately, because it has so much detail to print with, doesn't really give you much detail here in the building. But if you use it like I did here as a background to something else, it's absolutely fine. And then we've got in this corner over here, we've got a lady vagabond in the clay.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so that's another way to use your stamps. And the last two things that I'm going to go through, this is foam. So a lot of us crafters know this, and I've just got this as hobby foam or kiddies craft foam. This one is quite thick, and I'm going to show you how to be able to use your stamps to get this dimensional look with the foam. And lastly, I've got these two little guys as samples. I'm going to be using the embossing powder to make these little charms. So that's where we're going today with all of
many techniques. So many techniques.
So many techniques, so little time. Let's get going. Right.
Yeah, we are ready. We are ready. We have a lot of friends coming now today in the live. Agnieszka, happy birthday. I saw some comments on happy birthday. Agnieszka.
People saying happy birthday, happy birthday.
Hola, Crystal. Betty ya está encantada. Mira, me encanta. I love your work. There's a lot of comment. Blanche is translating into Spanish. Rosario ha compartido el video. Ahí me encanta. Y later, I will show you the new collection, Romantic Fortune.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Okay, we does. Okay, so let's start. The clay. They want the code. They want the code. Okay.
Okay, they want the code. They want the code. Okay, let's find the code. The big one is K3P44. The small pack is K3P58. So this is 80 grams and this is 160 grams. So this is double this one. And I'm just working with the big lot, which you've just seen me open. I always try and open my packaging as carefully as possible. And what I found with this clay is I like to just pinch it off somewhere over here and pull out a nice big lump. That works the best for me because then I can seal this up again.
Yeah. Esto es muy importante.
Very, very important, yes. Yeah. Make sure you seal it up. I wrap it then in that plastic wrap that you have in the kitchen for sandwiches, and then I still put it in a Ziploc bag. So always make sure that you seal it well.
Es un consejo muy importante. Después de abrir la soft clay, hay que cerrar muy bien el envase, así que no se seca, con una película plástico, un plástico, y, así que el aire no la puede secar. Molto importante, dopo aver usato la soft clay, ricordatevi di ricoprirla con un cellophane e di chiuderla bene, così non si seccherà.
This is where the cooking show comes in. So what I've got here is I've got sucker sticks. So if you want, I'm really wanting a thin roll out and I'm wanting it quite nice and even. If you want it thicker, you could just stack up two of the same things and have them on each side. So I'm going to just pretend like I'm doing dough and roll it out.
And what you can do is you can turn it, lift it, and turn it. And then you can stretch it further the other way. Don't break there. And so then what happens is that the rolling pin will land up on these two pieces of wood, and I will land up with a nice even piece of clay. So that's what those are about. Now I can put my rolling pin on the floor.
Belinda, I will store these tips, these tricks too. When I will bake. This is pretty.
Absolutely, it's a trick I learned from my granny for when I make.
I always have problems to make the dough at a good level, at a uniform level. So
you have to go out and eat 2 ice creams. It's the easiest way to get these is these 2 sucker sticks. And summer's coming, so ice creams won't be hard to get. So once you've done that, now you can take out your stamps. And which one shall I use? Let me see. Let me use my suitcase. Okay. So for this, I'm going to, these are sticky, unlike Antoni's stamps. These are sticky and made to stick to these acrylic blocks. And so what you do is you literally just press it, and let's just make sure that I'm in shot. So let's just move it up a bit. You literally press it into your clay.
Okay, vamos.
So you give good, even pressure all over. Okay.
Que va a ser Mar Martínez. Hoy vamos a hacer una locura con los sellos. Hoy es locura de sellos. Bien.
So can you see that?
Yes.
Perfect. So you can, of course, ink up your stamp if you want to, and it will leave a print in there. I didn't, because of course I painted it. And then all you need to be able to get it out is one of these tools with the point on one side and the small ball tool on the other side. And you literally just cut it out like so. And the trick is to glue it onto your surface and let it dry. So if I was using this on a canvas or something, I would now take this. And of course, you could stamp out a whole lot of other items. Today is the lab, so it's show and tell. And you can reuse this. What I'm going to do is just get that away. And peel this off.
And how you let dry the soft clay?
So I'm going to stick this onto a canvas. So I glue it onto the canvas and let it dry on the canvas.
Okay.
So it is supported by the surface that I want to have it on. Just for people so that they know, I'm just going to do this on one side to make sure that you can use this clay and it's not wasted. I just add some water from a sprayer bottle in different layers, squish it over like so, and then I've got a piece that's left over here, so I'm just going to add some water, add that piece on, and I'm going to put this back in my packaging. So
avoid to dry it, add water and put it back.
yes.
Yes, Linda, this tool is available in the Stamperia blue lino in the shop. You can find it.
Right. So seal that and put it on one side. Okay, so somewhere on my desk in all that organized chaos, I have a tiny little canvas. Oh boy, where did it go? Here it is, underneath my phone. So I've just got a little tiny canvas that I have bought at the Euro shop or dollar store or pound shop, nothing fancy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully, and I've got it on a silicone mat so that you could also work on a craft sheet so that you can just lift it off. Come on. And of course, because we're live, it's going to stick. But it shouldn't, because it's a silicone mat. Come. You know, if you talk to your artworks and things, they usually listen.
Yeah, they do.
Talking
Hello, Blinda and Omar from the US. Ciao, Patty.
Ciao, Patty. Okay, this is really wanting to stick today.
Allora, Rosa Maria dice, ¿se puede reutilizar la soft clay que sobra? Claro que se puede, Rosa. Hay que cuidarla muy bien. El consejo de Belinda es de echar un poquito de agua a la soft clay que te sobra y ponerla otra vez en su envase.
Okay, so if clay is being a paste and it won't come off the surface, you need a piece of string and you just slide it underneath. The string is a little bit thick. Cotton would actually be better. And if it doesn't behave, you just roll it out again and just do another one. Okay, fine. For the sake of saving time, I'm going to take this one away.
You know, sometimes according also to the humidity of the air, maybe.
Yes. Also, I should have put a little bit of baby powder on here first to not make it stick. You know, if you're baking, you would put flour down. But here I've got 2 of my little suitcases. And I'm going to put my favorite glue. Extra Forte glue, which is DC07GN. And I would glue this in place on here. So a little bit of glue.
Linda say, use credit card, buy lots of Stamperia product, then use a card to scrape off clay. Okay.
Yes, because then you've used up your credit card buying all the Stamperia product. Absolutely. You could, but yeah. So just because we're live, these things happen. So there we go. So I have my little suitcases in the corner over there. Fine. And I will let that dry. So how do I achieve this? So now we go back to that blob of clay that I put away.
Hello, Shamala. Hello there. I'm late. Don't worry.
Oh, don't worry, Shamala. No problem. As with anybody who's watching who's come in a bit late, Stamperia always leaves these lives up on YouTube and on Facebook.
Absolutely. And Shamala, you are recognized. So I will summarize that today we play with stamp technique, but later I will show the new romantic collection courses. So stay with us till the end of the live.
Okay, so now what I'm wanting to do is create something like this that I can stamp into. And these edges are far too thick, so I'm just making sure that I have got enough space for my stamp. And of course you can use any stamp, but I'm going to be using that one. So I'm being very careful with my dirty hands not to touch the sticky side of that. And then I'm going to, where I've got, well, you can make this as big or as frilly or as curly as you like. And right, so now I have a place that is big enough. I'm going to just pinch it out a little bit this way. And now, when you work with the Stamperia ink, so Stamperia has 2 different ink pads. Well, they come as sets and they come with the permanent ink. And the trick with these is to only put a little bit of ink on at a time when you are ready to use them, because the ink will dry on the ink pad. So what I'm going to do, and it comes with this lovely little applicator tool, which is clear. So I have stuck mine inside some masking tape so that I don't lose it, because you know these little clear things disappear on your desk and they never turn up again. So
yeah, true.
Tell me how I know that. I learned the hard way, because you can't even see it on my hand. So now you take a little bit of the Stamperia ink, because this is now absolutely dry. I probably shouldn't be touching it with my nice dirty hands full of clay. So you give your ink a little bit of a shake, good shake, and you add a couple of drops of ink on there. And then you take your little tool. Can you see the ink on there? Yes, it's nice and shiny.
Yeah.
So you take the little tool and you spread it out. I've just found this is the best way to use this, and yes, you need to do this every time you want to use this ink pad, which is why they give you the ink separately, so that you have nice fresh ink every time you are ready to use it, because it will dry in between. So there we go, we have some nice fresh ink on there. I'm going to pop that on one side. Actually no, let me stick it back where it belongs, then I won't lose it. It's dirty, I'll clean that later. Now I need a block for my stamp. There we go. And I'm going to ink that up.
Y aquí te veo con los corazones, because you're already sending a lot of hearts.
Oh, thank you. I'm not looking at the screen. I'm concentrating on what I'm doing.
I think that she likes the tricks, and finally someone who show why this little transparent pieces is inside.
Yes, it's not a mistake in the packaging, I promise. And you don't want to lose it. You keep it. You keep it all together. So now I'm just going to flatten that down a little bit, and I'm going to stamp into my clay. There we go. And look how gorgeous that is. Now I can form my pieces however I want. This is now too big, so take off the excess. And build it up, and you can build all those layers, and it can look like old leather. You can make it look in any shape and form that you want. So that is how I did this one. You can tell I didn't I did the sample last night, so I hadn't re-inked my ink pad. You can tell the difference.
Yeah, so nice.
So that's how I created this look on my canvas. So that's how I created this. So I'm going to pop that on one side to dry. All these little pieces, again, I'm going to give a little bit of a spritz of water and pop it back into my packaging, because that way it will last a nice long time. There we go. Sorted. Okay, I think my hands need to clean. Right, I'm just going to clean up here with a little bit of baby wipes. And moving on to the next technique. Because today
there's a question here from Linda.
Yes.
Can you use any ink, or does it need to be a specific ink?
You can use any ink. You can absolutely use any ink, but it preferably needs to be a permanent ink. So Stamperia's ink is permanent. It is a permanent ink pad, simply because Stamperia also has these other ink pads which are not permanent. Well, they are water-based, and these are pigment-based, so they take a long time to dry. So I find that the permanent ink works better, but if this is all you've got, by all means, use that. Okay, so let's just pop this on one side to dry, because I want to go through all the techniques. Next, I'm going to do, and I don't think my hands are clean enough. What did I do with my baby wipe? Let's grab another one. Next, I'm going to do the shrink plastic.
Oh,
And
good.
because Alda, and I'm going to put a piece of black paper down, and because Alda did it with the black ink, I'm going to do it with the white ink for you. Just need to find my shrink plastic.
Hello, Luneka.
Hello, Nunu.
I'm late. Don't worry.
Don't worry. So shrink plastic, called Shrinky Bits, and it comes in the white and it comes in clear. And so because I'm going to be working with the white ink, I'm going to be using the clear. And here you can actually see when you look at my necklace, which has the goggles, which comes from my stencil, that is what I cut it out from. So that is how much it shrinks. That space
This is awesome.
was the original size. And I just love this stuff. It takes me right back to my childhood. We used to love doing this and used to drive my poor mother mad by asking her to shrink it in her oven. So those were the days. Right, now I'm going to use my clock. And I'm going to use the white ink. And I did use this morning, actually, so I should have more than enough white ink on there. But if not, nope, as I said, you need to re-ink just a little bit. A little bit goes an incredibly long way. So I'm going to put a little bit of the white ink on there. And now, of course, having spoken about that plastic tool that comes with it, did I stick it underneath? No, what did I do with it? Oh, here it is. It's stuck to my glue because they disappear and I keep them separate. So now I'm just going to spread out my white ink on my ink pad. There we go. Pop it back in there. And now we can ink up. There we go. Perfect. We can ink up our stamp with a good coat of the permanent ink. And I don't want to waste, so I'm going to make sure that I go into that corner over there. And give it a good press all over. There we go. Ta-da! It's like magic. Use a wet wipe to clean up afterwards. I just find I don't normally clean my stamps terribly well, but when I've been using the white ink, I definitely give it a good clean afterwards, because remember, it will dry permanent. So I don't really want it filling up all the gaps. And now I'm going to make a charm out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip it out here, which makes it easier for cutting.
I'm laughing because here Pepe is written in Spanish that she really needs a pizza box.
She really needs a pizza box.
You really need a pizza box. We need to send you. We need to send you. Absolutely.
Please make sure that she's in the queue for a pizza box. Pizza boxes get announced on Mondays, people. So you need to like and share the videos to be able to be in it to win it. You know, it's like lottery tickets. You don't buy one, you can't win it. So you've got to like and share, then you're in it to win it. Okay.
Look, Anita say hello from Netherlands. Like and share. So.
Okay, so I want to be able to make this a charm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little piece of extra plastic at the top here. And I'm not cutting right on the white line. I'm giving myself a couple of millimeters of extra plastic all the way around the outside there, like that.
I have a question in Spanish. Está usando una tinta permanente blanca. Esta es una tinta alcohol ink permanente. Rosa.
Yes, I used the permanent in the white, and earlier on I used the permanent in the black, which you can't read because it's on black. So that's what I've just used.
They argue in the pizza box right now. Rosario wants to Panama. Jean say no. Send it to Scotland.
Okay, so this is a 1-hole punch, and I am making a little hole. You need to remember, if you're going to be making a charm out of this stuff, you need to remember to do your punching now, because you cannot punch it once it is shrunk down, because it will get too thick. So that is something you need to remember now. Okay, now we get out the baking tray. I just like to work on a metal surface because it gets nice and hot. And then what I'm going to do, because underneath here I've got a cutting mat, and remember, if you heat a cutting mat it will warp. So I'm just going to use my art journal underneath to protect my desk from the heat. Then I'm going to get out my tweezers, and I'm going to just hold
Gabby,
this.
you can watch all the episodes you will find in the Stamperia book. Here, this is a magic moment. Sorry.
Fine. Did you want to show that? You can show it.
Yeah, okay. We have all the episodes available here in the Stamperia TV. So check out in Facebook and YouTube. You will find all the episodes. Todos los episodios que van grabados en redes sociales. Okay, and now ready for the magic.
Okay, so you can use a heat gun. You can put it in your oven. I know somebody I watched had a special little oven that she put it in. I was very jealous. But so this is the more hot attacking mode, because it's going to warp and wiggle and do strange things, but I promise it will go flat at the end. So I'm now starting to heat it, and I'm trying to heat it evenly everywhere. And it will start wrinkling and crinkling. There it goes. It's like a crazy thing right now. And it looks like it's never going to be normal.
Yeah, and you say, okay, I lost it. It's gone. It's done.
I might as well just throw it in the bin. It's not, some people panic and think. But no, let's keep heating, keep heating, keep heating. Turn it over and heat it. Come. Behave.
And shrinking, it becomes more thick and solid, of course.
Yes.
Okay, they want also in California, and then we have, of course, they want in España. Aquí, yo la pedí primero. I asked them for first.
Okay, so now it's warping the other way. It's teeny tiny. That's gone out of shot. And it should go flat at any stage now. If it doesn't, there we go. It's going flat. It's going flat. Nope. Perfect. So here is the stamp, and here is my little charm.
Please
So,
look how shrink it.
It's like magic. It's like Alice in Wonderland.
And what is magic, and it's not visible exactly from here in the camera, is that any detail, all the stamp of a Stamperia are super HD. But in this way, they become ultra defined. It's 4K. They become 4K stamp.
Yes, exactly. So there we go. There's what it was, and there's what it is now. I can't help it. It takes me right back to being a kid all over again. So that is how I made all of these things for this. And of course it comes in the white. So if you use the black on the white, you would have a background. And I also made myself a pair of earrings. And to make them shiny like this, I just put the gold foil on the back so that you can see the design through. And then I put some earring.
You just, sorry Belinda, you just glue the gold foil on the back.
Yes, so the normal tacky glue that you get from Stamperia, you put that on the back, and then you put the gold leaf on, and there you go. So that's another way to color these as something different. So that's those. Right, the last things that I need to do.
Germany, it's a great for hearing. I just gave a pair of Lady Vagabond.
Yes, it is. It's fabulous for earrings. Okay, so now the second last thing we're going to do today is working with this foam. And as I said to you, it is just normal craft foam. This is a particularly thick one. It doesn't have to be this thick. And I'm going to just use the, because I've got a different camera up, I've got cables in the way. So I just want a small piece that I'm going to chop off here.
Jingling, yes.
Yes, I love the sound it makes. So those we will do just now.
They love the sound of your necklace, Belinda.
It is fun. Okay, I need a white piece of paper for this. Fun. So that you can see that. Okay, back to the heat tools. So, and I've got my stamp ready. So when this foam, when you buy it, it has kind of quite a matte look. And when you heat it up, it starts to get kind of a shiny look to it. So I'm trying to heat the foam evenly by moving my heat tool around. This one has a diffuser in it, so the heat is a little bit more dispersed. But when you see that the foam starts to go a little bit shiny, and it might even start to warp a little bit, that's when you know it's ready, and you can do some CPR on the stamp. So for that, I'm going to stand up and give some good pressure. You can also walk your hand around the stamp like that. And the heat from the foam doesn't affect the rubber stamp at all. And then you have that amazing, it's a reverse of the stamp. So where the rubber is raised, it will be deep down. And then when you color it, it will show up like this. So this is when the magic happens. If you don't press properly and you find that you are not happy with how your stamp has come out, you can reheat this. It will puff back up again and you can re-stamp. So it's quite forgiving. And for this, to make it show up, I'm going to use the Tarantica just on my finger. And where is the 12? I want to have... There we go. I want to have my highlights on the side. And it's like magic. There comes all the detail.
Danke sehr, a great idea.
Once you start coloring it.
I really agree with you. It's very...
Why can't I hear you?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hang on, hang on. My mouse has fallen on my...
Hello? Hello?
Ah, you're back. Okay, I can hear you.
Danke sehr, great idea. And I'm agree. This is very nice, cheap idea to make beautiful reverse stamp to use in your project. Very.
Yes, so you can make your own embellishments using your stamps. There we go. And you can, of course, mix them. So I'm going to have more gold on my right-hand side because if you've ever been in one of my lives before, you'll know that I like to have the highlight on the right and the shadow on the left. So I'm going to use some turquoise. I'm just going to...
Like, share, and commented, Linda.
You got to be in it to win it. That's it. You got to be in it to win it.
What kind of foam is it? They
It's
ask you.
craft foam. Some people call it
Craft foam.
foamarind. It has all sorts of different names. I just went to the hobby shop. It's literally called hobby foam. It's it's quite often in the kiddie section of the craft thing, or comes in all sorts of different colors.
Yeah.
So I just happen to be using brown because I want my clock to show up. So you can choose the color, and then of course you cut it out and you have a beautiful embellishment for one of your projects. So that's how that was made. And then we have these two little guys.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Why? Because I put my crown on because I need to.
You're thinking crown.
That's something very important. So I need to look serious. Oh, thank you, Kendra. Look cute. Thank you so much. ¿Es cartulina o es foam? Laura, es foam. Es la de los niños. No. Oh, thank you, Danka. So, it's after 3 different. Ahora, I have an idea. I promise you that I want to show you the presentation of the new romantic collection Forces. So, but this is not the only thing that I can show you, ladies and gentlemen, because I have also something more to show you. Some amazing project from Dorota Popovic, our amazing Dorota. For the first time, I can show a scrapbook album and an exploding box made with this collection. But first, I want to show the video. So I'm asking you if you are ready and if you want to see now the video. Later, I will show the amazing project from Dorota. So let me know if you want to see the video right now, placing a lots of heart here. So according to the heart that I will see coming up from the screen, I will show you the video. Or if you don't put any heart, maybe I can end the live here and give back my growth.
Back your crown.
And put it on the wall, hanging on the wall. So let me see what is happening here. Okay, they're coming. Enough. Pepe,
hearts. We want lots of hearts. We want to see the horses.
Sneak peek, Selen. Oh,
sneak peek, come on. Yes. We want to see it. Look at all the hearts.
Your love is not enough, actually. More love. We need more love. More love to load the video.
Always.
The video is loading video by your hearts. So I have a love machine who need hearts to run.
Your love machine needs to be filled up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Mary. Okay, Mary. Your mother is here putting hearts. Okay, hearts are coming. More.
Raining hearts. It's raining hearts.
70% ready. The machine is loading the video. Okay, 75. Okay. That's almost pornography. Here, one more coin, please. Okay.
And
okay.
go.
We are ready. We are ready to launch the video. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, here for you, the presentation.
For the first time.
For the first time, estreno aquí el video de Romantic Collection Horses. Mira, 1, 2, 3. Oops. It's broken. Okay.
I'll just make sound effects in the back.
we have the new romantic collection for the pre-order now is available. So please stop doing right now what you're doing and call your shop and say, please, I want the new collection of Stamperia. Okay. And later I will show you more. Now I go to see the comment and look how people like it. Okay, Belinda, so let's go ahead.
Right, the last thing I want to show you is you have these two, well, they come in lots of colors, but I've got the brown and the clear. And I've got the copper embossing powder, which is how I made these two little guys from my stamp set. And what I just did is I literally took the ink pad and I squished it onto some, I'm just using some watercolor paper. And then I've got, let's use a different piece of paper. I had a clean piece of paper here for doing exactly this. There we go, nothing with any notes scribbled on it. And what you do is you take your embossing powder and you pour it all over where you squished your ink pad. And then you're going to heat it. And it looks dull. I'm going to try and hold it at an angle so that you can see when it starts actually melting, it will go nice and shiny. So normally what you do is, the way you normally use embossing powder is you would normally stamp your image and then put your embossing powder on and then heat it. But this again is a slightly different technique. So now you can see it's going all shiny and I'm melting the embossing powder everywhere that I had the ink. And what I'm going to do once I've got it all melted is scoop it up, shake it over, shake it off, and everywhere that the hot sticky embossing powder was, it's going to grab on and we're going to melt again. So what I'm doing is I'm building up a few layers of the embossing powder on here, and you can build as many layers as you like, and the more you add, the thicker it goes and the more delicious it looks.
Ok, se puede entonces añadir más capas de embossing powder.
So yes, when we started off, it was a cooking show. So that's what I said, it looks delicious. Because, and it doesn't matter about this mess over there because we're actually not going to be using that part. Because we're going to be stamping into the hot melted embossing powder with our stamp. And then you can cut it out. So what I'm trying to do is just build layers of the embossing powder so that you've got some dimension to stamp into. It's almost like you're making your own sealing wax. You know, if you have that melted sealing wax stick that you would normally dissolve, and I'm just going to pop that back in there because I'm now making a great big mess on my desk. And I'm going to do one last layer. And
super thick. Okay.
So I've done up to 9 layers like this that get really, really, really thick and juicy. But for the sake of you guys not watching me build up layers and layers and layers, this is more than enough that I've got on here now. So I'm just going to prepare and
Very
put
shiny.
back on in its jar. Pop its lid back on because we all know what happens when we don't put the lid on. We knock it over, don't we? Yes. How do we know? Because we've all been there and done that. Now I am looking for this guy. I'm going to use my, let's use a smaller block. Let's take this guy off from earlier. Let's take this one on.
I love the comments. Reading the comment about friends is so nice.
Okay, so we're going to do one last heat because this needs to be soft and melted before we ink. So I'm going to ink up my stamp. Leave that on there. Heat up my embossing powder so that it's nice and liquid. And you can see that I'm holding my heat gun quite close. And you can see that it's all nice and melted. I'm going to stamp into it and squish. So obviously the more layers you put on, the more squishy it becomes, the more dimensional your stamping will be. So I don't know if you can see the dimension in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then, of course, like I have done with these, you can cut it out. The only trick is you need to cut while this is warm, because basically what you are creating on here is like a plastic or almost like a waxy plastic layer. And if you try and cut this out when it is too cool and too hard, what you will find is that you might lose some of your embossing powder. It might want to crack off, like a wax candle will crack. So if it starts to cool off, or if you get a phone call or your doorbell goes or something happens, all you need to do is just heat it up slightly from behind, and then you can cut again.
We have a question.
Yes.
And the heat doesn't ruin the stamp?
No. So these rubber stamps are made under huge temperatures. So they are very used to hot temperatures, and so no, it's not going to affect the stamp at all. So there.
And Laura is asking, Belinda, your social media, please. They want to find you.
Okay, so if you put in Belinda Basson, I'll pop up all over the place. My handle on Instagram is actually Acorn Crafts, because my business in South Africa, my art studio that I had for 20 years was Acorn Crafts, or Acorn School of Crafts. I abbreviated that to Acorn Crafts. But if you put in Belinda Basson, I will come up with the pink hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the easiest way to recognize me. There was somebody impersonating me, but I got hold of Instagram and they got rid of them, so there shouldn't be any other Belinda Bassons with pink hair out there. So Belinda Basson at Acorn Crafts. I have a blog called Bella's Scrapping Space .blogspot, which is where you'll find all my design team's posts. I post there every Tuesday and Thursday. And on Facebook, of course, Belinda Basson, you can follow me. You don't have to be my friend. I have an open profile, so you can follow me there. I have an inspiration group called Belinda's Creative Inspiration for Everyone. You can join that group and find lots of inspiration there. And yes, I am all over the internet. And
another question. Sorry,
yes.
from Linda. Did you stamp on regular cards, please?
It was, so you can use any cardstock. This is just a piece of watercolor cardstock that is 300 grams. I find working with thicker cardstock works a bit better because, and I worked on the smooth side, not the textured side, but that's personal preference. I could have done it on, so I've got a piece of packaging here from a box that I'm going to use to make a tag from. You can do it on absolutely any surface. You can do it on a canvas. You can, but then of course you wouldn't be able to cut it out. You would do your shape of your ink and stamp straight into it. That is another technique. And lastly, I just want to show you, because this little canvas is now, while you were showing the horse video, I was blow drying this, and this is now dry enough for me to just put a little bit of Tarantica over the top. So then people can see the detail pop out.
Hello, Azel. Oh, hello.
So So there we go. So that was what I started with, was the clay piece. And so there is all the detail from the suitcases. And this is a finished example that I showed you at the beginning, working with the clay. So you can, I've used different Turanticas to color it. And of course, in this one, I had sprayed it with my aqua color to get it brown. And that's the last thing that I'm just going to show you. So this piece that I was drying earlier, or had dried, I'm just going to color with the Turantica, and then I'm done.
Jean needs to know the embossing powder name. Please, Belinda.
Embossing powder name. Where did I lose it now? Here. It is the embossing powder by Stamperia, and that code is far too small. I cannot see it. I did give it to you. I need a magnifying glass. It is if you go on Stamperia's website, they have embossing powder, and I also have
check out from embossing powder, Jean, and you will find it in the shop.
Yes. I'm sorry, it's just too tiny for me to read without I think I need binoculars. Forget about magnifying glass. So this is the one that is drying that I did earlier for you guys, and this is the one I did yesterday, and I am going to, it's not quite dry because the clay takes a long time to dry, but I'm just going to give you guys an idea of what this will look like. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of the aqua color onto there, and you can see that the aqua color goes into all the grooves.
Love it. Tom is asking me when I come to Poland for a visit. Well, let me find soplica and some pierogi, and I will come as soon as I can. Buenos días, Hilda from Peru.
Hello from Peru.
Belinda say, I love this demo, so informative. Yes, the lab are amazing. And with Belinda, it's a success for sure. She's super technical, super precise. She knows many techniques, so different, and she can explain everything so well. So first of all, thank you, Belinda.
Oh, it's a pleasure. There we go. So let's have it the right way around. Let's put the lid back on. I haven't, of course, painted that completely properly yet because time is of the essence. So I'm just going to blow dry that layer so that I can put... One has to be careful when you re-wet the clay. If you wet it too much, it will start to soften again because that is the nature of clay. And there we go. And again, I'm going to use my beloved Turantica. You can see I love this pot. I have another one, but this one's my favorite. And then you can just rub on top, and it picks up the details and shows up the highlights. And you can, this is like the magic stuff.
Later, you have to show me something because Belinda asking, Roberta, sorry.
Yeah.
Say, Belinda, what did you use to make the golden ride near the Lady Vagabond sheep on the canvas? Later.
Oh, that was Crackle. That was Stamperia's gold Crackle. If I'm understanding correctly, she wants to know what this is.
Maybe.
I used the stencil, Escape the Ordinary, and I used the gold Crackle paste through it.
Okay. This is gold.
So even though the Lady Vagabond stencils are quite thin, but you can use the pastes and things through them. They work perfectly. So that's the gold Crackle paste through there that gives that amazing effect. So, and that's the lady. And there are the suitcases, and there's the airship. Those were all done in clay. And that's how. So, of course, you can play and still finish off, because I see I missed a bit over there.
Yeah, but this is the idea, Belinda, that you gave us. And then, really, you can make it like stone, like it was paper, like it was a piece of metal, gold, and make
Absolutely. So I'm just trying to find all the things that I've made today. There we
That's
go.
why at the beginning I asked you if it will turn very solid, because really you can make so many things with this idea, with the clay, and with all this idea you gave us with the shrinky, with the embossing powder, and the foam. The foam opened me a world. I never
Yes, the
thought
foam
about
is
it.
just like magic. It really is like magic. So those are all the techniques that I have to show you today. There's one last technique if we've got time. Otherwise, we can say goodbye. Do they want one more technique?
It's not about me. It's about our friends, Blinda. So
Do they
do you
want one more?
one more, or
I've got a tissue paper technique that we can do. One last one.
okay? Now, let me see if you want. Put a heart.
Your heart machine needs filling up again.
Need love my heart machine also. I want to see it, so I start to charge my machine with a lot of hearts. Let me see. Yeah, they're coming. But before, I will show another pieces of our journey into discovering the new collection.
Oh, yes, please. Yes.
I want to show something, and then we can have also another technique. Let me charge a little bit more my machine. Okay, they're coming. Okay, so now I think I can show you.
Is it full? Is it full?
Is it full enough? It's loaded enough with all your support and love, so I'm proud to show you. These are a showreel from Dorota Pottery. So 2 projects coming from the new collection, Romantic Forces.
Awesome.
Oh, so Dorota is magic hands.
Her work is always so beautifully detailed and incredible. She does the layer thing so amazingly. Okay, so the last trick, because everybody gave so many nice hearts, we're going to just stamp on some tissue paper. So you could actually even use one layer from the tissues that you blow your nose on, or this is tissue paper that you would use in gift wrap. So I've just got some white tissue paper here, and I'm using the permanent ink and stamping up my Lady Vagabond. Remember, I inked it earlier, so I don't need to ink it now. Just making sure, oh, I'm even inking my fingers. And I'm going to stamp on there.
I have to read you this comment. I'm so happy for all the stuff I have bought can be used for different things. Don't have such bad cautions anymore.
Oh, absolutely. Because that's the thing. I think so many people think of stamps in just one way, which is for card making, which is what we originally used them for. I started as a stamp maker. It's a bit pale down here. There's Lady Vagabond. Oh, no, my camera won't focus. I started out with stamps back in the day, 30 years ago when I was still at school. That's what got me into crafting. So it's stamps now. I have so many different uses because of mixed media.
And all I'm doing now is I'm going to just put a little bit of water around the outside here so that I can tear her out. You could cut with scissors, but I don't want to waste time with that. Because you can't really stamp onto a canvas. Firstly, this canvas is hollow in the middle, so your stamp will not sit nicely there and you will not get a nice print. So this is a nice technique for when you want to have a stamped image on your canvas, but you can't actually stamp onto it. And I'm going to place Lady Vagabond there. I'm going to use my mixed media glue.
Yeah. And Pepe say, I need these stamps for breathing. The Spanish expression that she needs to.
She needs it to survive.
Yeah, to survive. So.
And the trick with this is actually, you'll notice I didn't put anything underneath. This is so thin that you can just put the glue straight over the top.
This is a very, very nice tips, Linda, because at the end, the tissue becomes transparent
and you can't see it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And with tearing the edge, it gives, you could, of course, if you had the time and the patience, you could sit and carefully cut around Lady Vagabond. But as you can see, it's not even necessary. There she is as part of my canvas. And that's the last tip and trick for today.
This is a very nice one. And you know why? Because you can use, in this way, you can stamp also on round surface.
Yes. So you could put that technique, you could use it on a bottle, you could use it on the back of a book, you could use it on so many different ways. And I'm going to put that in the middle of that so you can see the different scale. And here she has her luggage. And there she has her locks. There we go.
So,
all the things we created today, using clay, using foam, using shrink plastic, using more clay, using the embossing powder and the permanent inks. And a little bit of Charantica thrown in for fun because it's magic stuff.
Lots of techniques and very, very, very useful today to really enlarge the view that you have on your stamp, because really you can use for many, many things, many things. Absolutely.
So people, go and contact your shops, get on that email, get on that phone, contact your shops and get them to order you that horse paper. It is gorgeous, the new romantic collection.
Paris say, I ran out of hers for today.
Hearts, it's raining hearts.
Wow. Thank you so much, Blinda. I don't know if you can come back with the camera, but if not, it's not a problem. I don't know what's happening.
We can try. I'm using my, let's see if I can unstick it.
Now, I want just to remember that. Oh, so fast. Ooh, I like that. Oh my God. So,
I tried to do it quickly and not make everyone seasick.
It was so nice, Blinda, to have this proper lab on the stamp techniques. We go through many techniques how to use your stamp. Ay, me encanta. Muchas gracias. Fue un directo increíble. I really love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're always nice. And learning from you is a privilege. Really.
Oh, thank you. I've loved sharing everything that I've learned. I mean, I've learned so many of these techniques from so many people over the years, from YouTube videos that I've watched, being in live classes. It's just, and so it's become so much a part of what I take for granted. And then I realized that there are a lot of people out there that haven't come across these techniques, so I thought I would share.
Thank you so much. And I remember, share and like this video, you can win a pizza box on Monday. Then, today I showed you the horses collection, and tomorrow we will have something new also running on. So stay live here tomorrow, 3 p.m. local time. And now, thank you so much, Blinda, for your everything, your heart, your everything. And now I will go and show you something amazing. I want to show again the beautiful Alice presentation. Alice
Oh, the new
become
Alice
a
is
queen.
gorgeous.
Alice become a queen. So thank you so much, Belinda. Thank you to all our friends. Stay with us tomorrow again, every day. Watch, like, share. Ciao, ciao.